pay ye babidi. But it can add the panelist no edin atidwa na samedia yebeshe competition as inti minia abedi you will be co-hosting with me abedi tiseltiminka let me know say you can hear me now afeno yenhye competition no ase
Samalation me da say enafe mema obibia akwaba edeba enana pedmedi so let me say a special welcome to all of you out there, and I'm sure you guys are keeping safe.
Yeah, thank you too.
Yeah. Let's take this opportunity to wish our president a belated happy birthday and also to congratulate him for the good job he's doing. And I me sure say Samuel Leshen I introduce Ubia Enti. Say yeah, we still much time I beko program no so and na pay say ebedi enkomo send Samuel Leshen about COVID-19, baby a chassis free na baby a yabi drew. Especially effort Ghana's ambassador to China, any China, Ghana's ambassador in China, Ejuma Omwedi, Ediama Yemianuma, what China. Hello.
Yes, no.
Nyame Yadum Bibia Echo under control. But ironically, no China ever down, I said Ghana any it has become necessary, say from the auspices of the Ghana's ambassador to China, His Excellency Edward Boateng in office, other partners, say this our discussion we ever talk from. You ever dialogue in Ghana for where it's coming from, what we've been through, and then the way forward. It is Samuel. That is a little bit to what you.
Many of us say for the information now on their mind, but quickly, my main card for 118. I said you made a course of live a conference platform and you and Tisoko Facebook and a now you share happy 989 FM. You can watch the entire show live or your Facebook wall happy 989 FM. It's also live on Twitter, live on Instagram, handle a happy 989 FM. Into which me join the conversation. No, also our live ETV Ghana live Net2 TV live Ash FM live Oman FM. And with me, I follow discussion and then you can send your comments coming through. Wabra yedi and Komoin. And send a mini abedi a kind of Yensha and Komotri na say and pay. Na Yensha said yeah. Na yadi His Excellency Ambassador Boateng and Yadino Shas here. Sir, good morning. I'm trying to pay BBI.
Yeah, good morning. BBI Boko. Michelle,
yeah, that's it. And I pay you do share Senator. Now, ye bisa say at the moment, the world is devastated. We are suffering because we can't fight the disease. But China, you're every buy, no. And then what to say?
Well, China, they say, you're in a coffin. In fact, I started quite Juma. Say, no, say, it's your officer, you know, Kasa. And Hubei province, you're started free and then military TV and pay public transportation started. And I think Mr. Samson Poku Kasa will know me my more information on what is actually happening in Hubei province. But Nyakopo Adaroma, I think China in particular, the Enoma CC area Atoye. And they say no share Chinese funds, so they are going out to help other countries, Omoko, Italy, almost the Nepal so-called UK. And they are also going around. And I say that it's going well.
And if I understand you correctly, nature say the area initially now your friend is a epicenter no, Hubei, Wuhan, hono. They have started opening their doors for others from let's say Beijing and Guangzhou to enter.
Yes, they say free Hubei, you can move out, and for a long time you couldn't move out or go anywhere. But you say you can, and you can also come to Beijing and other places. And they say China and the Omar Guma is saying we can move around.
Mimbisa a very important question wabra sa nsensemi nyina ekobae no. Mekai say it had become a heated conversation say na ye bisa say na anye bia Ghana for adesua for wo China honom no. Adenti ne yen for mo emba Ghana. At the time na Ghana for a demand see yen for mbra. I remember say Nooks for now so ka say yen for mbra. What informed your decision say Momo ebeka ho?
I think the decision to keep the students here, that was the president's decision, because I think president share everything. You know, as I told the students at that time, you know, as president, he had a complete 360-degree overview of what was happening. And you affirm, you know, any minister of foreign affairs, and Okacha say based on how he's seeing things, you know, if you say Yenja and Kolano Hase, and I think says also the ecosystem say is justified because Amra Yarian and Kasa start Chinese foreign kase Ubiantina baby or they will try and solve it. Unfortunately, a lot of the leaders didn't listen. And as they say, and I think that for that day, the president has to be applauded. I think what we did was, as his soldiers, you know, I'm not catching say, and Kolan now, but Monshi say, Obia Honkano. Yes, so Juma Sajumani dear, and Nipa now no more say they all played a role. And they say Akuko Nini Butu Omoso, Butu Kolano, so not only in Kolano, but Ghana for Haina, and here you know Nipebianca, because we're engaging them on a regular basis and sharing ideas, making sure say Akuko Nina Butu Baso, Akomabi and Mature Binko. And here we just carried out in a diligent manner the president's directives, and just like he's said, you all should do in Ghana, no? Let's try Ghana for say Muntie, no be antinefi, na the president Bekasi no. Because if we follow the leader, we'll get to where we want to get to. I think that unfortunately, like Yepenia when baby Kofi Annan in October 2017. A lot of leadership in this world right now are sort of inward looking. There are 70 by the Director General of the World Health Organization, Okabia, is now it is Obia, sort of inward looking, will be a shiny there. Unfortunately, CAT and Assam time now, to say the AT, your president Assam. I think the world would not have gotten to this situation. It's unfortunate, but I believe that the problem will be solved. I think that it's a problem that cannot be solved by one country. We have to work as a collective, because my welfare depends on your actions. Your actions determine my well-being. And we all have to hold hands and work together, just like we did in China. And if we do so, we'll be able to solve this problem and solve it in a timely manner. So we share in Kura, Yariano, say, Editing, America, Italy, Spain, UK. I would say it's an issue of leadership. We share Yariano of places like Singapore, South Korea, Japan, Germany. It's also an issue of leadership. And really, no, we're where we are now, but I believe that the world has to come together and solve this problem and solve it in a timely manner. That is my personal view, because Yariana Kasai but that much as the economic impact that is likely to rout on the walls, because he and so muya utif ye na unko juman. By the time I ever solve no normal be I say
Your Excellency, I think that was an excellent submission there. Mamisa Embisa Obium, say no, recommendation ben and I to ben adema Ghana for and Ghana men with regards to virus here in year kumi. And I feel especially cities are able experiencing shutdowns. See, I'm with them epi. Meaning say if it's completely open, they are saying others can move in and out. But Ghana fin year room and President Ashe say yes, start a shutdown in and some specific cities. And then I will catch I found.
Shutdown is shutdown. You see, Antinefi. Intineze wotinefi na mekwa kope we yakoto na mekope because say ubi active bia otia within 14 to 21 days. Wa yare ni bia yebehu. Inti yohu a yare ni treatable unless say we penning and say we underlying sickness bino. So you can be treated. But aside it is a one tina baby out in a who could share the next person and now they are signed. If you look at the permutations in the mathematical modulations, one person by the time they be who say when you know maybe I would aside probably 100 because and that's why the tracing is important. So it's really about containment, isolation, and being able to treat. Until the president which countries are successful, South Korea, China, Germany, it's the same. In an my colleague or Germany, Kasana Mibusani say, how come say Germany, no, see your cases no cost, but Germany, a castle Montenegro, Obiatinefie. So what I say, but Italy say, Minianamoho, Mibusom say, what is the problem? You see, Antinefie, no, independent Tinefie. Mikoto coffee, mikoto tea, na kofa semawa. Mibuzo will be antinefie. Now, people talk about the bed and medidi. I think the President Kasa no Kasi Umumoto and Vianney and Kika, don't bet me out of Vianney, but qua to do with me a dinner in our tree. Yes, they be a mikoto Vianney and Mikoto. It is a man for Casa and the only fridge or the fear. Say no, a huncher naba, it is will be a tighten belt. It is a beer, document now with dear, and I say, Johnny be obeying, making sure so with me a dinner over 3, 4, 5 days. China has any Mimikaisi start here. My secretary, Johnny, ma'am. I don't know these are for the first 2 weeks. They feel like Johnny me to needing Sheila's kitchen because they be having coming fridge no kwana midi. But in the idea, I'm but we had to. So they say we had to. Into a so be a now the president can tighten our belt because you need the resources to say other countries as a any chinchenya. You bet me assume into a series which a crocrat is Italy, in France, UK. See woman in our mobile. Into the president can is will be the bonnet home by. They may meet me a canon.
Your Excellency, I better say, and also, I say to me about Abaso for that good job because when the president and dream moment containing Ghana for good China, I'm sure a case won't be any different from Italy, any other countries are. They were quick to call back their citizens when the outbreak in So I know on that note, we really have to thank you.
But there's one correction. So we are so general or general case idea, you do it. So what I say in the officer can't say
the instructor, you don't have to say anything.
Exactly. And they say was a Ghana Antinefi.
And one yet to me.
This is imagine why they is no madam penning for more hanging us. Omunina will be I and the chef and Yaman Kwan. Me and penning for no because I will be as I say and the chef.
What company?
One question.
Also,
after the statement he made about the general instructions say one more they have to comply now. But my thinking is that as the representative of the president in China, he has more access to data, information, and so he would brief the president on what steps to take and what not to take. In that regard, what were the pointing factors? Obejina sudia to mampani for say oh yema Ghana suku for na enkaha.
No credit, make no credit. You start here. China forecast in Argentina. That was our position as an embassy and also as a Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But later, so Obia Nipa, America for before Munipako, Italy for before Munipako, Obia before Nipako, Nayan Kwayan Colano. Then people started raising ye before Tiana, say. And to me, say, Drew, I've been imagining this sign. To me, Mr. Catch the minister and the president say, well, tell the idea is going to be a CM for Yankola. The honor, you catch a president, a presidency, Yaman in Junehum. To a dream, one of friend was said no. Or no, to a shot dealing now, who said the best decision is what the Chinese are saying at that time. In Tiaman Kola and he takes responsibility for it. So that's what he said. So okay, and I just said, as I see you could to say Akukoni, you make sure say any decision no. Ubia Kolabia Honka, Ghana and Mubia Nenka. It is Miss so make sure share my soldier for me no by Juma. Bini. So what I say. And I debia is your butun colana so Intina one person's job, it was a collective effort. But the decision to stay there, it was the president's decision.
Your Excellency, my idea, Papa. Ghana na ye bomb abaso. Eno de men Canada. So we Ghana media. Out say, one yibia, only President Abumaye with Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the Kikahuam. Me who's a penny for a boy bini Dr. Percy. Dr. Percy, good morning or good evening if you are in China. I don't know if it's
good afternoon.
Good afternoon in China. You are one of the doctors who volunteered to help during the outbreak. And also, you were a student and a doctor in China. Let me ask you, what was the motivation for you to volunteer in a foreign land in times like this, when everybody's trying to shield and protect themselves from the virus?
Good afternoon. I would want to, first of all, say hi to everyone listening in and a very good morning. As you already mentioned, I'm a medical student. I'm studying my PhD in surgery now. And over here, I didn't work exactly or directly in the hospital, but then I volunteered to work on one of the lockdown checkpoints. Now, basically, the motivation started from the fact that as medical students, I mean, at this time, this is when we have to show up and perform our duties as we've already been in this field for quite some time. Initially, our school had already stopped us from joining in or taking part in any hospital duties because they wanted to protect all the PhD and postgraduate students available. So during one of our deliveries, when our ambassador, I would want to use this opportunity to say thank you to Ambassador for his help during this period, because it was him and Dr. Amma Edwin and some of the important help that they had given to us during this period. When we had received packages from the embassy that was sent in from Ghana, especially at the beginning, it was the nose mask. It was around that period that I decided to go into one of the communities where some of the Ghanaian students are located. And during my trip to that place, you realize that over here in China, during the lockdown, we had checkpoints. Now these checkpoints it closes up every community. So it is just like an example of what we have as watchdog, what we used to have. I don't know if it's still there as watchdog committee, watchdog members. Now these checkpoints are made up of not even military men or policemen as we have it, but they are made up of the community people themselves, trying to protect the community itself. Now, when I got to this checkpoint, I was not allowed to get in because I don't live in the community, and you need a pass to be able to have access into the community. So it was at that moment that I was talking to one of the checkpoint guys. They were like, "You need to stand on the side. You need to go aside, and then call whoever is supposed to receive the nose mask to come out and pick it up." So whilst I was waiting, I realized that one foreigner was coming out of the community, and they were having a slight issue with the people at the gates because of the language barrier that is there. So I opted to help to communicate with them, and it was that time that the guys who work at the checkpoint were like, okay, if you can help us communicate, because there are over 200 foreigners living in that community. If you can help us come and work here with us, so that you talk to them when they come out, so that you teach them the new rules that the government have set up, the new policies that are available, the fact that you need to have some sort of like a pass before you exit your community. You can go out once every 3 days, and the only purpose why you're going out should be because you're going to probably get some food items or something and then come back. So it was at that time that I was offered the opportunity to help, and I mean, I was around and not having enough to do medically as it's supposed to be what I'm supposed to do at the moment. So I opted in to help. Now, the main purpose or our main duties at that time was to be at the checkpoint and then communicate with all the foreigners that came in and out, not just Ghanaians, but then also other foreigners from other nationalities. Tell them the new policies that the Chinese government have set up. Explain to them what these policies are. Try and educate them on one or two things that they need to understand and know within this period. And aside doing this was basically where the motivation came in, and I realized that it helped a lot. Over here in my city, we didn't record one case with any foreigner infected, and it's a plus and it's a win for all of us. So yeah.
Okay, sorry I got off. Thank you very much, Dr. Percy. If I may ask, your healthcare providers already widely affected and during the pandemic. Will you continue to dispassionately whatever was happening there? Would you say the medical frontliners will keep going despite the news that you're getting affected and all that? I think I lost connection a little bit, but let me add this: you guys are going to keep on helping the people in China.
I believe that the help that has started is as I was saying, is just our responsibility now. I think our ambassador made a reference to the fact that those at the embassy are the soldiers of the president. Now, at this moment in time, we as medical practitioners are the soldiers on the field now. I made this reference to one very important man in my life. He was like, you're going out to work, aren't you putting yourself at risk? Your family is worried and so on. And I was like, if I was a soldier and this was a war, I would have to go and attend. I would have to join in anyway. So I think each medical personnel right now is poised to go out and perform their duty. There is one oath that we say, this is the Hippocratic oath, and I'll just want to read a quote in there. It says that I will treat to help the sick accordingly to my able judgment, but will never with a view of injury or wrongdoing. So whilst you start the medical school, you are taught to understand these basics. So at this point in time, I think all medical personnel would do their best to rush in to go on board. Now, while the medical personnel are moving in, I believe it is each and every individual's duty. It is our responsibility as citizens back in our country to be of support to them. I think we all understand the fact that these medical personnel have the option to stay home with their family, because they have families too where they can actually stay in and then be with them, but they sacrifice to get in to come to the hospital. So I just would use this opportunity to say that if you find yourself going to the hospital in any way, please do your best to support these medical personnel that are there. It is a little support that we give to them that would encourage them to do more, because this is one huge sacrifice that they are putting in. A lot of medical personnel have lost their lives in some other countries. Even China recorded some cases, and I believe it is us, the citizens, our encouragement and how we speak to them. People will be tensed when they get to the hospital. They want everything to be done for them quickly because they are scared. But it is time for us to calm down, do in our own way, support them, and I believe they will equally reciprocate on this. And notwithstanding this, I would also want to say that most medical personnel now are also encouraged by the things that our leaders are putting in place. And as we all know, it, Nanado has done so much within this period. I have been following with all his State of the Nations address and everything that he says all the time, and the encouragement, the zeal, and how you see how much you feel that he is poised and he's down to make sure that this thing is eradicated and it doesn't affect the Ghanaian individual or even the economy. But then we all come out of this together. And I believe it is time that we also understand that this is equally what China did this is what China did actually to make this a possibility. They supported the government and the system and everything that they had put in place. People came together as one people, and I think it is time that we follow and understand these basic things that our leader Nanado, our president, has put down. And I'll just say kudos, and I pray that he continues and he pushes on with this zeal that he has.
All right, and see, I feel no join a conversation now. Happy 98.9 FM and we are having a conversation about COVID-19, dealing with the challenges, a dialogue with Ghanaians in China. And so we welcome you to the conversation. I feel now we're feeling a bit one. Across our Net2 TV, Oman FM, Ash FM, Kumasi. Sansuna Ekoso our ETV Ghana, Ekoso our in social media platforms in and he also with me join a conversation with your questions on some of the issues we are talking about this morning. Dr. Percy, I will stay a bit longer with you as to the dangers you had to go through as a doctor in times of crisis when there's a shutdown. You've already explained the motivation. But what was the feeling like when you woke up every morning and you saw the danger and yet you had to face it?
Basically, it's our job. It's difficult because every time I moved out in the morning, I feel like where I was stationed at was not as tough as those at the hospital, because those at the hospital have more to do with patients coming in, but also exposing yourself because everybody is at home. But then I deciding to like stay in a checkpoint makes it very difficult because you don't know who you might meet within that time, and it is a whole lot of scare because I live here with my family, and also I got calls from back at home trying to make sure that I'm fine. My mother actually is a nurse, and she had to call me once on a video call and check if I'm dressed properly in my medical in anything to protect me, and I had to send her a picture, and it wasn't easy because you feel that sort of fear that what if I go out this time and I actually bring in something to my wife here or anything of that sort, and it is that scare. But at this moment and at this point in time, I think the survival of us as a human race and individuals is the most important thing. And doctors are the soldiers of this particular period. It is our responsibility to defend the fort as our soldiers would do when they are supposed to. So that is one thing that motivated me, and the fact that I knew that a lot of things have been put in place by the government to make sure that a lot of important structures have been put in place by the government. And I can see the Ghanaian government and Nanado mimic that in a lot of things that a lot of his speech and a lot of things that he does. And it is just our encouragement that these things are pushed on and we continue to practice them. We as individuals too, we have the right to also understand that this is our time to stand in for Ghana. It is a whole Ghana situation right now. It is nothing about some political affiliation or the other political affiliation, and it is just how we can come together to fight this disease as one people.
Now, my final question before I move to Samson has to do with the level of cooperation you enjoyed from both the Ghanaian embassy and then the Chinese authorities. How was it?
For the level of cooperation, I think it was top notch. I would say it is great to understand that every time you go out and you're doing something and you see other people from other countries, especially our embassy and our ambassadors work, they always ask you what is happening, what is your embassy doing, and we've heard of numerous examples where other embassies were looking into to get some of the ideas that were being used to manage the students that are here. And it is of great importance to note that no Ghanaian in China was infected by this due to these measures that were taken. And this was basically because while the embassy was trying to communicate with us, our ambassador would talk to us, the Ghanaian community, once every week. We have our Ghanaian community national president, Mr. Peter Waja. He would also come in and he encourages us, he calls and he's on to try and make sure that everybody is in touch with what is happening. The Chinese government also put in place a lot of measures. And one of the measures that I would want to, two of the measures actually that I would want to talk about that I think we should adapt is, the first thing is one thing that has to do with our pharmacy systems. Now, during this time of this virus period, the pharmacies that we have are not allowed to sell any sort of NSAIDs or drugs that can inhibit or decrease your temperature if you have a fever. They are not permitted to do that. So that means that anybody that comes to these pharmacies, you are directed to go to the hospital to get treatment so that you can be tested to find out if you have this or not. So I believe it is one thing that we can also look into. At this moment, we should encourage people to get tested if they have fever, right? So that when they report to our pharmacies, they are not given like some sort of drugs that can decrease their temperature. They sit in for 2 or 3 days. They end up spreading it to other people that are close to them because they feel like maybe it might just be malaria or something. And then also, I heard from the leader of the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, I think, concerning how they've encouraged all medical personnel to think COVID-19 first every time patients come in. And I think I would encourage that they continue to do that and look into that more often. The second thing that I would want to talk about is the fact that the Chinese government has set in rules to encourage people to use nose masks. And I want to talk about this and stress and ponder upon it because I think the World Health Organization has already provided his views and his thoughts on the nose mask issue. But then the reason why the Chinese government enforced it so much is because they realized that sometimes some people might have the virus without symptoms. And then that means that if they're walking around, they might equally speak to people or come in contact with people. And hence they encourage people to use their nose mask properly. If there was enough time, I would go through, I have a few here, I would want to go through how to use them. But then I would want to say that it is important that Ghanaians start using nose mask. It is very, very important because if at least you know that you are protecting yourself, just in case your friend who is just close to you might have it or not. So that we don't take the risk of saying that, okay, it is just people who are having it that should wear it. Prevention, as we say, is better than cure. We need to put in more effort to understand the importance and also decrease the stigmatization of people who are being pressured. When I heard that some people would frown at you when they see you with a nose mask on, especially when you are in a public space or when you're in a church or anything. I just would want to put enough understanding on it that let's understand that each and every one of us wants to protect each other equally. Now, if you're not wearing it and someone is wearing it, you might as well do your best to encourage the person to wear it rather than discourage them in any way and look at them and frown at them in any way. And we also need to, most importantly, learn how to wear them so that we don't contaminate them if we are putting them on. And as we've been saying, wash your hands frequently. And then also, if you can't wash your hands and you're in public, make sure you have your hand sanitizers on and then you use them. These are basic steps and basic principles and simple education that the Chinese government put out and pushed on. Like it is every citizen's responsibility to prompt people when you see them in public. If I remember I had 2 times, I was like, there were 2 times when I had seen some other people around, some Chinese people actually, without nose mask, and then I had some on me, so I just would have to take them out and then say, just wear it so you protect your friend, you protect even yourself against it. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the submission. I should be moving to Mr. Samson Opoku in a bit, but I'd want to dash to Ambassador Edward Boateng for a question about an issue which Percy raised, which has to do with the report that no Ghanaian contracted the disease. What were the systems put in place in terms of communication, in terms of supply of food, and then the basic logistics that Ghanaians in China needed?
I think on the logistics, Mr. Abu Osman will talk about it, but briefly, our communication was very clear. As Percy said, we set up a virtual communication system, just like we're doing now on Zoom. So every other day, I was talking to the entire Ghanaian community, the students, and the broader Ghanaian community. In addition to that, we had the systems that the Chinese people had put in place. But the overall credit should also go to the Ghanaian community themselves. People were disciplined. People took the messages, absorbed them, and did what they were supposed to do. So I think we worked as a collective. And as I have said, and as I think Percy said, my welfare depends on your action. Your action determines my well-being. We are a collective, and that's how we work together, and that's how we can combat this virus. So in terms of the measures, I mean, I think the discipline and the clarity of messaging was important. I mean, every 2 days we would have these meetings. In addition to that, I put myself on all the platforms. So did Mr. Abu, Dr. Amma Edwin, whom we thank very much because she was joining us from Ghana most of the time. It was during her bedtime, talking to the students, talking to the people. And whenever anybody had a problem, we went in immediately to try and resolve it. So as Dr. Percy has talked about, the community involvement. You immediately go in and try and so ubebwa. I think it's that collective effort. And I think that's what the South Koreans have used, Singapore has used, the Germans have used, the Chinese have used. That is what works because it's very contagious. And as Dr. Percy said, you know, if you get out of your house and you are not wearing the mask, somebody will prompt you, somebody you don't know, because sometimes people forget. You know, but in terms of our logistics, moving around, our chief coordinator on logistics was Mr. Abu Osman. So I think he would put more light on that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ambassador, for the quick response to that question. But let me quickly move to Mr. Samuel Opoku, the NUC's president in Wuhan. Good morning, Samuel.
I don't think he can hear you. OPK.
Mr. Opoku, can you hear us?
OPK, your mic is off.
Okay, it looks like the mic is muted. So whilst we wait for him to correct that.
Yes, please, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Okay, Mr. Opoku, I can hear you now.
But Ghana is saying.
Oh, Minya, Nyamiadum, your lockdown, and I check kakra. But you manage it.
That's it. Let's see where Ghana for Wuhan. And who being in a Yamiadum, Yahoye.
Minya, my fashion bisa, na me bisa say. I be a somewhere said Ghana students, I'm what to say.
Medase, Medicanda was stations, a horror, money I didn't get a home, and a payasana. Madam, a chief for her phone answer. Yamiadum, Ghana for Wuhan, and a Hubei province in When you're saying what the can't a kind of I just sat here now a more than ye. Send I want with Kaka echoes of fear. No more than ye. Yamadum, it me a boy, a home modern. Eddie Mrana, and for Shama, so if we I'm a cinnamon say, Ghana, maybe a one can. Until Yamakan, Yamana Dana say, and support any free Ghana for her. Mrana, you hear more. Ghana for you can be mine. Until where?
A codum pempen so be na I say students in the church or say a person about Ghana. Yen yon penny for more Ghana, so say, Monfa any animal more China and Ghana. I will for one more Ghana, Hanum says, see a person, a man more from Ghana. At that time, no, I didn't know we as president.
Madaziminia, no crack. If it is a nine, you catch a bank, say, a bank family until we sign a no crack. Because I don't know if they can know. So, my can't crash. Yeah, I will hand. Now, then I started to be an ground zero. Epicenter, no. You attend them from 23rd of January, basis of over 60 days. After sending His Excellency Kano, Abano, Obium, Nabina Obium Crano, Obium Kakra. On the Senate channel for your mother, no very meticulous. Until when I Obium Crano from 25th, or the measures are back. So, it's PR. I said, Wunya QR code. A check with temperature. What shall be our call? Say Pia Upian for Sobia Niswa. And as I said in here, man P. So when you be brain, I said, where did be a more than 65 years? Mother, I did our pen and said, yeah, dear, I won't hear be bra. Man P. Yeah, I walk a school for a day, no. Still, I know, a day was school. School, no. And I'm saying, I hope I warranty. I buy anywhere we. Into school, like I said, Ashamanti, Ghana Fire School, oh, University, no, I'm right. The same school say, Motonji Medical College of Adon University of Science and Technology. Yang, my say, Obit my P, but Obit my piano part 9 to 11 a.m. and I'm 2 to 4 p.m. Answer now with piano, I thought him training here, UP. Now, International Student Office, Gitum. And say more pay. Sana air course of our other places. And Sana, when you know your papa boy, Sana ever boy home. Now me as a leader, Wahano, I make that Ghana first year for Ano. Oh, Hamano. As some of them not add in ye, cinnamon, you can be saying, would it be sad? Because I didn't see that. And I said, Mana Casana Bom Pusa. Didn't annoy them. But then I say, me sue my name executives, no opinion leaders are. I'm coming home. Mainly, make us say teamwork. Teamwork. My friend is saying I'm down on it. My name executive for dinking at home. Many opinion leaders will more way more. A high Yamiadom, no paying for a crowd way more. I've been on your university lectures, the polytechnic lectures, or more on PhD or ha. Or my more experience or ha. Sana, I'm going to free access. I won't buy September. I'm paying for Mukakra. I'm use all these resources. FY make me 5 minutes. Setting committees. And come up beer. And I embassy. Didn't get a hopa. In fact, no problem to say, I see no crazy, you know. Embassy, they can fray. When I can say, friend. It's His Excellency, Nini Tim, afraid of that. Inti, Yanni and Crawford Casa. I send beer and come on any embassy baby. They make sure say, no Crawford, I catch him a timely. None of me tear Nipa more. Because now I'm talking about Casa Brave. Because Obia Abopusa, Obia Basa, because Nipe Uti way across Waha near the day. No, until now, I say Nipa more. Until now, and also try to manage the expectation of the people. Because one thing I said, all kinds of so and kind, now could be a honor. And I will tell say, you're very transparent as possible. Never say, do next one, now do next one. Never say, we no way. In fact, as I buy, no, never be the course, you go so me say me go mani gu no because said obi kura timi nya kasetia me the chair no and I the chair because we say normal time but nipa na timi kana adwena obo na adwena kirewa actually ya no ase afro so we dey afacha me na we dey unu onim heat no ama exercise be no ya adwena ye no meetings we kura timi say bi ho no mana ano ya ye den kakra and e bo modern say anything bia no ye platform ha ye WeChat platform Rebecca said WhatsApp is akin to WhatsApp. You kasa ye nyina also. Nti more timely information. Now you are there because be 8 hours and 6 hours na men kasa to be say opike wo he. Enti nka and then ekọ. Until you try to be present and visible. Now you listen to the people. Nti me ankasa me manage my personal emotions, anxiety no. Because because me no me sabe ba mo no. Eho ben be a mo kan se market no no. And me manage media, I have to manage that of the other people too. Make much of say, I did start here. I'm more adding on WeChat and when you pay 120. Minimum binum. Obi say, we say. Until me did say, and I don't. Me use several ways with my people, teamwork, communication, and trying to help each other. And a boy, and man, me do be a dream. Until me that's it. I can't make my account.
My final question, and it's dear Ademoko China Maimu any addition throughout the period that not lockdown ever in force no. Namusia dia na namusia dia na akwan best number for this year there. And then number 3, Ghana is here and show lockdown mom. Akwan number 4 no addition bi ewo muma ya na ewo Ghana hanum say.
That's minia. And okay, answer my back question so mesro na o ma me kwan na magina Ghana for ewo who be ha na Wuhan epicenter a school for na wo mo ya adwuma nyina anam ada Ghana mampanyase His Excellency Nana Adonai Akufo-Addo wishing a belated happy birthday say anam so na mpanyim for mission Ghana mission o Beijing Oman jeje in fact nema bia Ghana for na ye no yakra na other countries so nti yebeda na se ne say or respond to our cause in most ways sa na yebeda Minister of Foreign Affairs Obatampa aduane na oroma yensa kan ni so in fact me nkro for ni so pa yebeda na se ene nema bia omo ye man no mintimi nja pan no hanom His Excellency Edward Watching. In fact, me share that na enye easy. Wa boy papa. Ono ena na hukani Minister Consular Honorable Abu, Honorable Hammond, and Sister Sheila. Embassy staff no more na o ma boy papa. Nti mado ase ani so never and say enam say next na ya so achirinti e ba media na e kasa na na nsem bi wo hono mana e bia na enkai e be stress e ba se dia some of the excesses bi ba ya mo be che be make ma kan say Ghana for ya Wuhan who be ha ya ni so yeah abaya
sorry so to me can just a little bit of a uko wechi kakra ya na light ne to so man e clear on TV wo Ghana it uko wechi kakra light wo wechi but who bends kakra our TV now why tun kakra into ya no wachi kakra more then you get the more light why perfect into Africa also sorry yeah
mebaso yeah enokre adi esi no edi be vacation ni twam nti school no start day no yes start spring semester no schools no be introduce virtual learning online platform nti me school is ni eyebi other schools be brave hanoma na omoso mo yebi eboa papa na na me gidi say Ghana bank 8 million stakeholders FR abeboa ye video presentations maybe I will be a lecturer no to lecture students they didn't come more PPT presentation eboa time management eboa ehia say ye nyina ye kuhia fa near then say Ghana no say aha no ohana say electricity light and go off asemi say ye nyina no light and go off that internet all the time. Internet so cheap. Ghana send any data the boarding. Inti nyame say Kebeyanka, Minister of Education and Minister of Communication and telecommunication companies, no. My special package Ghana for students from primary to tertiary. I say move from primary to tertiary, you'll be a no much a special package be never made cheaper and I'm a free crowd. No students, no. You know how long I debate take now. Much and Timini, I can't make my account. Medasi.
Mr. Meadow say. Say, Odin Chechimukakra, am I from the perspective of a school for more China? Mami shift quickly. I'm coming about Gloria Akpablaho na meneno ending come on any women's commissioner Nooks China. Gloria, good morning.
Good evening from here.
I've never beaten the Kakra. But the fun is well, mommy, a little understanding of the women presence in terms of school for our China, Musia, the Mufigana, Koya. Mudu by saying, so
okay, so Ubisa a man on Kwana say school for any
a man make a man of the door.
Okay, a man, dear, still. Yeah, that's so you need to be or honor my young for Monkaya. And so see, you share your group. I want a man who call bear 500, but a baby or honor my affiliate or my 2 minutes.
Meaning, sir, a bano situation say, I am a man who needs in a dorsal make up room and then no more brace and if you are meeting Bosso, our radio Sunni TV. So, how did you handle this as the women's commissioner, handling over 500 women?
Okay, so the way Nooks China is it and say there were chapters baby where I say, and sa executive body na our national level no, there were the replication was our chapters yimu. Inti infane say at the national level me welcome no amongst the almost 30 chapters na ye won so ye welcomes sa nti sa welcomes ni nyina no so ya boa ye na no nti asem ni si ye say no na me welcomes ni di nkomo e bi so omo say emma no omo asitene mu te sen na nya emma no nko ampo che say chapter ni members ni nyina omo ho te sen nti omo ma ye sa feedback no na ye bi so omo say okay sisi a den na muhia na o ma kire yen ya muhia na say kwan kra omo fa so enya nema bia sisi a omo santumi nka nti sa na yetimi di sa nema ne hudum.
Well, that was a wonderful one, Dr. Gloria. I'm just amazed at how unified you guys were all the way in China. Modeboa Ghana, mine for what China. Additional for Ghana for China. Now, Doctor, how am I doing? Can my person maybe say if you're there? Doctor, how am I doing?
Yes.
Okay, good. You're a clinical psychologist, and the announcement you do within Komokra Studio. Assembly C, you teamed up with other personnel for China and Moody and Komo. Now also you were helping over the phone who cancel Kwalani Bia, which is a would show them how to go through it. Attack, anxiety attacks now. How did you do that?
Well, me that's be my we take for in action. I hope say ubia a keep safe. Inti me ban say me kai pa name say me a phone call from Ministry of Foreign Affairs say students now omo Ghana no omo pese omo hia psychologist or betumi any omo edin kita ho enti omo pese me who say me expect a call from Ambassador Boateng. Inti sada na I'm say me sa call no end up na Ambassador Boateng efre me na or catch me say so this was around 8:30 and opano can say be 10 no omubeye meeting with the students. Mean to be may part of that meeting. So that was my introduction. And I remember say that very first day, we had 2 meetings. The first was with the NUS leadership. Now OPK, Mr. Samson Opuku and Gloria were part of the meeting. It lasted for about 2.5 hours. He said, yeah, OPK can do be announced a meeting, no, a more the way I go for can but it gave me context into after that and also and another one with the larger Ghanaian community and Dr. Percy and others inti before many students know a bit dealing some of the issues, and that for me was a very good thing. So being invited onto the meeting, the regular Zoom meeting every other day initially, and also being on the students platform. So in terms of the service, there were 2 types. Ubisa Gloria, one of the problems that women were facing. In fact, Gloria was one of the people who really did a lot. Not only was she referring individual people to me, but she was also doing good things. What Gloria didn't tell you is that she's a medical student too, so it gives her a good idea who said be quiet. She's very proactive. She will step in. So there were the ones that on a group. Initially, it was supposed to be for women, but it changed because of as a member no person or more joining. It's a group counseling where I gave them how to deal with stress, especially in the midst of a pandemic and when you are locked down. And then we did another one and other groups. But most of what I did was individual. So it was on WeChat. Often I did video, sometimes it was audio. Initially, it was very challenging because of the move, because of the cry for, because they wanted to come home, and very understandably, some actually didn't want to. So make a few of them, imagine being on a WeChat call 3 hours at a time. There were 3 people in particular. Most of the sessions lasted between an hour and 2 hours, but a few people, it took about 3 hours for me to breathe. But once they trusted me, then they kept referring people. So I think for me, the ultimate thing was knowing that I think some of them thought I was an agent planted by the government, and just as a many more brethren, no more say, you're my psychologist, ain't he?
Yeah.
I mean, someone even said that, say, oh, into me can so say, oh, the funny say government need the psychologist, but now say we hear psychological help, and into one year because one year nature say you are cutting your nose to spite your face, but
True.
it took time. But as I said, once they got my trust, most of the referral OPK ni one kind I know I send them WeChat most of the referrals from him, Mr. Abu, the other students with less who are not on this platform were really looking out for their welfare. What I also realized that apart from what I was doing, connectedness was important. They really looked out for each other. They really did. So every now and then someone will call and said, oh, OPK called me, or someone will say, I put something on a WhatsApp chat and Gloria spoke to me, or Gloria said this. So they were looking out for each other, even in terms of food. I know that there were some Ebiobi were tomatoes, obi were jane, obi were carrots, obi were we no more new aduane abom because ebi a wonko a wontos kakra na ni jane no wontumi mfa nyehwe, but in kabom more no it means physically they couldn't see each other, but then they were engaging. And those in their communities, in fact, OPK school, no, so several of the people that I dealt with who had serious issues, some of them were medical students, others were doing other courses. But imagine, so we are medical students. I not me school or Kolibu, and I worked in Kolibu for years. Inti on se Kolibu so several schools but who hospital, and some of them were in dorms. Initially I didn't start hospital the bodies no peak cry to me home, but eventually they locked that entrance into now. It's not just knowing says our pandemic here but would was so but eventually they were also able to look at ways of dealing with, because how you handle stress is so important. And I know say I work to as yes, I'm a medical doctor, but I also say psychologists are a vital part in any pandemic, and they shouldn't be left out, because I'll tell you, we have a pandemic which is a medical problem, a public health problem, but it's also a psychological problem, because how people see it, how people talk about it, how people even lock down the ayaking. So be will be adhere to the rules that they are supposed to. Nina are things that psychologists can help. So I know that now they are on board, but initially it's as if right here in Ghana, they were left out of the picture. And that is what China did, the mission. Because I remember when Ambassador Boateng spoke to me, or see students, they saw here would be psychologists or so once the students presented it, he presented it to his minister, and I got a call and I came in. So right in the beginning, when I went in, the initial discussion was even repatriation, not repatriation, evacuation. But even at that time, when they were asking for a psychologist, they saw the need and provided. So for the bigger Ghanaian community, I'll say that there are psychologists there. Every facility, please, I can say on authority, say all the regional hospitals and several of the other teaching hospitals or more psychologists. Even now, there are numbers that are out there that you can call, welfare hotlines. No, I'm to make connect to those in quarantine in hotels. All of this is being taken care of, because if you don't manage the stress, it can hurt you. Normally, we are free to move. Oko baby, our pegana ye freedom pa. We take it for granted only until oko baby now who say and yet the same. To say yes, some of us will have to go to work, but I know that even going to work is not easy. Who were ID, who was doctor sticker, but the police bitch now ebisa question and now we nim say nipa cross will be so ID num cry and then start here now with so all this, even those of us in the front line still have some of these things. So it's important that we know that these are stressful times. But the good thing is that this is not going to last forever. And we have to have a positive attitude, be there. That social connection, we do a lot of social media. Let's do
now it's like right on our laps. What would you advise people here in Ghana to do in terms of anxiety? For instance, you've been stopped by a police. There's someone who's never met the police or the military man in his or her life. And then even the panic alone of being stopped in the middle of the road to be inspected and questioned. Talk less of whether the person has touched how many cards, how many human beings before touching his or her cards. There are people who are originally neat freaks. And so what would you advise, especially people here in Ghana?
So in terms of how to deal with anxiety, protect your mind gates. I'll talk about that before I'll talk about the physical. Protect your mind gate. There's so much information out there, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You have a control in what you read. If you're on social media, don't make your setting to download everything, especially videos and audios, automatically so that you can control. If you are reading something, find out the source. Is this credible? Who is saying this? Can you go and check? And don't be so eager to forward things. I always have an issue with when people forward things and you challenge and they say, I just forwarded it. I mean, in other countries, people have been sued for libel and slander because of things they forwarded on social media. Once you push that forward button, you are attesting to what it is. And oftentimes, people wouldn't even have listened to what they are forwarding or even read it. So please control that mind gate. When you find that you are getting anxious, calm down. In fact, our bigger problem, or the way I see it, if we don't handle it well, we can have a pandemic of fear, and that will cause a lot more mayhem than the virus itself. So when you are afraid, stop and breathe. Literally, taking a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Tell yourself, it is well. Calm down. We all need to do it because in the moment, you can forget that this is something that if you don't calm down, it will actually make it worse. Who do you talk to? If there's someone, anytime you talk to, you feel stressed, don't talk to them. I think that you will have the opportunity now. Someone is forwarding something and you find that as stress. So blocking Ipakono on WhatsApp. Blocking Ipakono. Because time biana we who se Nipakro we or frel na we yem shishu because who ne call na complaints and answer say. This is not the time to have any additional stress. Already, it is stressful. It is stressful. And I think it's probably more stressful for those of us who go to work. I can share an example. Last Friday, me were I have two boys, because schools are closing. Microwave. And then me, I call mommy. The light is off, so we can't microwave. And I realized that Nkola we don't want to say mokra ni yenim say the can say jaso. So what did I do? So I was able to round up what I was doing at work. Me and my UGMC, and then we have a good canteen there, buy food, and then come home. These are unforeseen circumstances, meaning say my age or so they can eat. For those of us who are even on the front line, our stress level is different. But you may be at home and now it lasted 1 week because in Kolano Beko school, a lot of the stress that we are going to have as parents and especially as women is managing the resources. Thankfully, all the markets haven't been closed. Yes, a bit to me, but before you didn't care about friend or pan on obebu edia and found because a sign obetobi. But say no, we nim say be crowd shop na yetono na shop ni ebi ni ho. Into you have going to have to manage that. Or stress level ko higher. Normally, it is those under us. We dump on them. Inte bia wo baby and ubekemwegunu. So now we could be me dealing with one of the Ghanaian communities. One man shared his experience. Well, who says bibi kakrebia na ni buefu na okekemegu ne maneso. And I say ne cry or say do baby cry na fe there ne bani hu na first or but daddy no to say akola ni hu na no abobrim because bibi kakrebi pa no wakamwegu ne so na me can say the good thing is what recognizes say you are stressed because you are on lockdown and so also with your bills. It's not like you're suspended, say we were lockdown into your rent, into your way, into nim say bibi boom and answer you to all these things. So it was very stressful before Kwanapa and you know you from Colano little time. But see, Ghana, for people who are home, you on the discussion platform, people are really respecting teachers now because ebia yama akola no homework akra say supervise nya wo ye no kra wu hu ano and as obe hu ano kra na issues and a lot more people will be working from home. So these are some of the things we have to recognize and know that there are things that matter. There are things that in the longer run don't matter. Okay, yama akola no homework. To me and stop. I say, Akolano or class 2, class 3. Akolano throw was secret. Life is what matters. I would rather say Ube focus on your parenting skills and manage your stress than insisting that the children do right. I mean, sometimes look, I don't say and right and me and Kolano Ediana me chi bibi mo when I me call inside and I me country me bapen 17 say. On who your man to bad them and sense wow run your man or so I'll run your more lock up and pay me call kitchen and I mean who say I dare back me de chi we muma no sound and one room. I mean, but is it a big deal? I was going to them say we are the tankers about baby she say so oh, but I'm saying this because I know that women tend to stress about this.
Little. Yeah.
I myself am learning because on the program last week I talked about stress, managing stress at home. Say the same akola debia answer no be lock it up no obeto beam no egu na wa lock it up. One morning me call kitchen 6 o'clock no one to be named. Normally, men can't no. Into BB here, but that day I was so stressed because now I was also getting calls from all over. 6 Saturday, Mikoyane no sonkoto in running. Now Mikro share my name no bisa. I'm saying, which side of the bed did I sleep on? And then I laughed and I realized, really. So and me teaching stress, man. So he would say, "Wow,
it just makes you human."
Exactly. It makes me human. So based on what I learned and how I mismanaged that episode last week, say minyane no 6 o'clock Saturday, say on koto and run on koto be no more outside. This time, me 7:30 on sorry, chance in isi ho menyane no a big deal. So you need to focus. You need to focus on what matters. Otherwise, you will literally tear your hair out. They need you calm. The children are looking at us. So parents who are at home, it is difficult, but you can do it. And one of the things that has personally helped me is social capital. You see, we work with people, we live with people, and I want to say sometimes no many people said they are ACA, but I've been so busy. Now me work products, but even time to cook. But Arabi bia on the metna mammy si meaning say washa, mammy si washa, yamisha, say on the sister, Kitwanete, but I called and said, Charlie, my hotu, with me and my mammy, I've been doing man, or by Saturday, or be near you to Sunday in Minokoi. Ufu says on the metna, you know, me yenak ayakayaka dia, and come watching me, making me a friend. So social capital, mean to mean cost shopping. My brother-in-law was the one who went to buy all these food items for me because I was so busy. My banana shops, no. So this is the time to help. So some of us are in a position to help others. Ebia, ube to me amobi sika. Ebia, ube to me atonioma bia. Ebia, wo die no encouragement. But social distancing doesn't mean that we shouldn't connect socially. So if you are in a position to send food to someone, do that. If you are in a position to send money to someone, do that. Look, people are hard. Just last week, maybe Fina me say me to mop. It was a bucket. And a brand be airport war. Maybe Alpha Ministry of Foreign Affairs opposite and not on. Enti ODC me car nimuno and 20 pesos. Eda form. No, see, madam, patcho 20 pesos here, eda for me. Make to me their tones you and find ya me any me rare ho pie. Na sika me wo me hono na mato ade me de komo obi nti be ka kire me kun say na ye me I wish I could give him money na me kun say and ko say sika na wo me hono me de man na nka me friend no na on send me mobile money because 20 pesos coin that me car for me hu you or their days bisa me say madam pacho metumi afa na me de atonso so enkrofo yes.
One will say, maybe I can't question it, it's exactly so. Say no, onya social help no. Now you lock it down. Say Accra, some cities have actually been locked down. Sign out back to you say you manage the lockdown. I think baby now so whether all show symptoms or not, for the fear of stigmatization, isolation, into on person of the testing no. Baby now so lockdown no, one and get used to. 80. I say I'm locked down. How should we manage the isolation and the lockdown testing psychologically?
I will start with Omomoko Hospital. I work in a facility, University of Ghana Medical Center at Legon. We've had patients coming in and other facilities at Omuba. Because of stigma, no, Omon control initially said, "Yeah, me tu kwanya na se me shi obi ani ase intimate paumcho." We are putting our lives as doctors, as psychologists, as nurses, as pharmacists, healthcare people are putting our lives at risk for you. Moba. We will not mistreat you. We will treat you with dignity and respect. I know say people are stigmatizing people. You know, first, no now to kwanya away a burger, but they say and crofoi to kwan pomo pese or mobeka because of that. But se woban in temp now we catch ye temp na ye testing in temp na ye who say wo yare ni bia. We can put measures in place. Your chances are much better. Yare bebre no unless a won show symptoms no it is saying say oba nyim na obisan say wonyim na say o say o menyim ma yin say ntse say by that na banche na abo akofo ebepie But one year, ebia wo COVID-19 no, ebe pie no, na edu echire na ye ntumi ya mtimi pa mo chow. Ya mi enim mesre mo a moko hospital na monka no kre se mu nim a mu nim ba mamo nhyeda ntwa atra because musro se doctor no be kike mu ana se nurse no be kike mu debi ye pa mo chow. And in managing the lockdown no, these are some of the things that we can do in life. Nyoma bi wo ho a within our control. Ebi wo ho a any your control. And I mean my example of what you read on social media. Radio stations be brave wo ho when tune in na won tin your more can. That is within your control. But say mrano so wa cry wo kuma so what tema wo kaswa e wo say wotina fie unless we essential service you are required to be there. Enti yetina fie no ye hu say ye bo yankasa ye ho ban because already no ye won ye friend no community spread. Enti say yantena fie president say won fie abonten your doorsteps is the landline to yare. And it is a one fie now step out. It increases your chances of getting infected. And in pacho tnefie, what tnefia, they now be to me aye, ebia, debiano. Mommy, I won't even talk about the elite who children have their rooms and things. Let's talk about a scenario, a journey and in Kolaiwa dime bakumu, and a chamber and hall.
True.
Normally daytime no obiani ho, but this is going to be crowded.
Yeah.
How do you manage it? Normally it's tenefie abonteno to such and say initially they could walk around the house. They do baby near so to me, but so far no, yes men pee. It is over them. That's what should be doing. Over to me a pee abonten, but you still have to maintain the social distance. What's nefia? Ube who said nipa ho flow tem. A lot of couples will have issues. It happened in China. Inti se say nipa na bianca unhu no short unhu no all the time wukike mugu no so hu se wukike mugu no so a eden tokwa beba enra madam for back or no so ye in domestic violence I do say in this era people are calling me about DV. Now me say yes, it is going to go up because if you don't control your anger na bia wa first no ho bibi ubufu ana wa bobi say ebufu no stress no e higher enti wan hwe ya obeye eno more enti the police also need to get a dedicated line because they're going to get calls of domestic violence going up. But you can control yourself. They be a say how many of us na ye ni ejuma mu a ye mpenyin for be to me out. They talk down to us, they maltreat us, they are condescending. But unless you are really ready to walk out of the job, you control yourself because you know that literally your life is in that person's and that person has the ability to determine your future at work. In the same way, we must learn to control our anger. So we now become bibia tobo kind 1 to 10. Take your time. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3. Pace yourself. By the time I'll be do 10, no what back down, kaka. Na bisa who say asema obuefu a wo kekebu de be echna wole matter. Say nyame mpengu nipa koi oto sesia na so wan sorry a. Will you want that to be the last thing? When we think through these issues like this, and who say, oh, where ya bomi, where ya timi, where ya kamia, ya de kontokwano, and what, and to say, ye will fear, yen chrodo. Yen say ye whom cry. Say Dianina ye dear, yema ye manin yadofon case be a first no and now move to me yami. But say lockdown presidency for now 2 weeks so it will be reviewed. Ebi after 2 weeks, you be to me ako baby, ebi a ye into me. Into even markets no you be a nebe teninti yen spread out things so that we won't be under too much pressure. Children can adapt. They are resilient. You'll be surprised, say, in Kolan who say, oh, say, yeah, I come in your company now, but these challenges are ABC. And some of us who went through the 83, there were times that, look, but that is all. But you knew that this was not your everyday situation. This is an extraordinary time with hardship. So you learn to adjust, but we must talk to the children. If you are a family and you are having challenges, finances, sit with the children and let them know that before we could have all this, but now we can't. Rather than shouting, we will complain. That will not help. it will stress the children and it will make us more stressed. If you know, let's tune in to things that are relaxing. The program na we with TV. Ni ebema we ni aje, ni ebema wasre, enye ni ebema ehu abehye wo mu. Yes ni person do ewu how. Yes se Ghana say, then ni amete ye kra na yes kuhwehwe Bible na hu se wi ehye o Bible ma odi egu cap mu di so egu so no one. I mean all sorts of things are out there. But at the end of the day no say ye kai say wesu ebetwem nyame kan ye ho menjuma mebepa say yesu kan ye ho mupe tutupa. You have to encourage yourself so wuchi ya media. This is the time also we show hu cry say ni ebesi bia no wunyame oka wo ho. A person may not be there but nyame will be there. Sometimes who do we need to odipa be so nipa no to me want rather say oh say assume si we na bebo ame no konyame ni na kasa rade me ho kire me nim nyame ne me mabedi. You'll be surprised at the people who normally wouldn't call you, who would call and do that. So let's encourage ourselves in this moment. But if you also need psychological help, there are lines there that you are called. I know that some of the lines are already in the public domain that you can call. You put those ones out there.
But Doc,
great.
Let me ask my final question and I'll hand over to Samuel. Samuel, I know you're on standby. Finally, is it true that the longer people stay in the quarantine center, they tend to experience post-traumatic stress disorder and depression? Is it true?
Oh, it is true. You know where quarantine comes from? Quarantine usually is like typically from the required 40 days. So before, ships that went into a harbor would be docked because it was known that sometimes they carry diseases. So for that 40 days, you were there, and if there's no disease, that shows everything will come out. So right from antiquity, right from this, there has been several studies that show that the longer the people stay in lockdown, the more likely they are to get depressed or even have post-traumatic stress syndrome. Disorder. There are some people who are really claustrophobic. So if they are in a very small enclosed space, no muhumete. And what I'll encourage you, say, who will fear back a single room, be a wompoma. Sometimes just stand in the window because seeing the four walls alone can really be tough. And now you move your psychological problems that are into this time no is going to make it worse. The good thing with what some of us do and is shown in China, I've done over 70 hours of therapy time online, which are so what was psychological problem. Know that you are more vulnerable. Say you'll be diagnosed with depression, and there actually is World Bipolar Day, a day that is set aside to talk about bipolar disorder. And see, there are people who have that. There are people who have schizophrenia. People who drink. Normally, most people will drink socially. Now we are going to have people drink more. One who of you say who wants to unless they are closing beer bars, because that's how some people deal with stress. So mental health disorders are going to go up. But I'll encourage you, if you have your doctor's number, your psychiatrist number, your psychologist number, your mental health nurse's number, your community mental health number, call them. Let them talk to you. If you need medication refill, they can talk to a pharmacy. For most of the CHIPS compound and district hospitals will still work. You need to take your medication because you are extra vulnerable if you are locked down and you have a history of mental disorder. So let's take care of ourselves, especially today as we celebrate World Bipolar Day, so that we can really maintain our wellness. It is very important. It is very important. Hello.
Our Hanum say happy 98.9 FM. And a special edition of the Happy Morning Show across live on Net2 TV, live or ETV Ghana, live on your social media platforms. You discuss it. Issues to do with coronavirus. How are Union Ma or China? more handle situation where China go through devastating period. And then they have started opening their doors. My main shift your attention to a year Minia Abu Osman. Now many Indi and Komokaka. Abu, good morning. I'll be able there.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Bibi Aboko there, Radiasi.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Sir, you can say lockdown and I say quarantine. You've experienced it. I see anything. Measures, you know. Send a young to Kwemu, and I say to Kwemu.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Samuel and Abedi, and thank to your cherished viewers and listeners, as well as my co-panelists. Thank you. I think OPK, Dr. Percy, and then Dr. Ahmed Edwin has spoken enough on quarantine. She just gave us the genesis of quarantine. So let me just give you the Chinese experience here. I think we should also separate between lockdown and quarantine. In China, Wuhan or Hubei was locked down. They couldn't go out of the city. And then some of them couldn't, even in the school, some of them couldn't go out of their compound. And then certain non-essential services were closed. Okay, that is the lockdown. But then even though the other cities like Beijing and other places were not under lockdown, most of them, maybe they did some partial lockdown. Most of them were quarantined. And if you know China, most of they have this huge compound and it's gated. In most of those communities, they have cards. You have to have a card to go out. Now, when the cases started increasing, for instance, in places in Beijing, you couldn't go out. You would have to stay, and sometimes you have to tell your landlord or some designated people, you give them your shopping list, and then they go and do your shopping for you. Now, if you perhaps, you perchance misplace that card, you wouldn't enter. You wouldn't enter. And when you come from one city to another, you would have to go through the mandatory 14 days quarantine. And after you finish, they will give you a card to certify that you can go out. So those were some of the experiences. In my compound, for instance, they couldn't stop us, obviously, because of the peculiarity of what we do, but they would check your temperature each time you are entering the compound. And they have noticed if your temperature is above 37.3 or so, you would have to self-quarantine. And then you would have to inform them. They would every time check you. If they need to take you to the hospital, they would have to do that. So basically, those were some of the things they did. And all of them did say, maybe we would have to come to the benefit of the quarantine. But we should always ask ourselves, whether it's lockdown or quarantine, what do we want to achieve? Why should they even tell us to lock down or quarantine? I guess the mode of transmission of this coronavirus is not like SARS or Ebola. It makes it quite dangerous. Droplets. Dr. Percy was talking about using the mask. If you go out, whether you've been officially told to quarantine or not, you are endangering your life and you are endangering the life of the other person by you. You know, and since you cannot know whether you are getting the virus or you are transmitting the virus, the best thing to do to break the chain. Ambassador was talking about Wuhan. Some part of Hubei, most of the towns have opened, and Wuhan from the 8th, Wuhan is opening up. Why are they opening up? Because they believe that now they have breaking the chain of transmission. I guess that is what this quarantine and lockdown is about. at a point you need to break down the mode, the chain of transmission from one person to the other, the contact tracing, the close contact tracing and those things. If I'm locked down and you are locked down, everybody is locked down, and we minimize, how do you call it? We minimize going out, and then we also practice the social distancing. Eventually, we are breaking the chain of transmission, you know, and then we will be able to contain coronavirus. Thank you.
Now, let me go on to the experience bit, because you shared with us what you had to go through. But,
Yeah.
you know, as much as you were enduring all these things, some benefits accrued. Now, my major concern is, how were you able to get items to affected Ghanaian citizens in China, especially the students, when the lockdown was in force?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, the benefit, obviously, is that I'm still alive. That's the greatest benefit. I'm alive to my family. I'm alive to serve my nation. And that is the underlying part of all these things, that we should all stay alive. You know? So that is the greatest benefit. And then, like I said, then we are able to contain the virus. Now, let me move on to the logistics you were talking about. Now, we had a very huge tax here, because the students in Wuhan alone, and Hubei is very, very huge. I understand there are about 70 million people, much, maybe 2 times or 3 times Ghana's population. And they have Xi'an, Yichang, Wuhan, and you'd have to supply them. The distance from Wuhan to some of those towns were like 4 hours, you know, but you needed to supply. So what did we do? We as much as possible, number one, work with the host foreign ministry, because the city is under lockdown. You cannot go in. It's only essential services that could go in. Now, even some of the courier services, only China Post could go in. So we'd have to arrange with the host foreign ministry. And because they have provinces, each province had the local foreign office. We'd have to liaise with the foreign office as well. And then once we got a green light, we worked with China Post. And then the student leadership, OPK, did a yeoman's job providing us with the addresses in clusters. We had a few of them who were out of campus, but those who were on campus, we were able to send it to them through China Post. Now, some of the campuses, the situations were really, the restrictions were really enforced. Even the courier services could not go there. If you have items to deliver, you have to give to the courier office. They would have to look at it first before they send it to the students. And once some of those things delayed, we had to call the schools, the international student liaison offices, to make sure that the students had the items they needed to have in time. So we worked with local authorities. We thank God they had a very effective courier service. I mean, in within 3 to 7 days, we were able to distribute these heavy items to the students in Wuhan. So those were some of the things that we need to thank Nooks China and then the leadership of the Ghanaian community, who actually helped us very much to be able to do that. Thank you.
I will end with my final question. We were getting reports that the initial packages which were supposed to have been given to the students had not gotten to them. We saw some pictures and some audios on WhatsApp and co. What was the package given to the students and what did they receive?
Very well. Very well. Thank you. I did mention that these items were quite huge, were quite huge. And so the courier services in trying to deliver the items, look, we had a campus that had about 54 students, and we had about 10 boxes, huge boxes. Now, the courier services obviously would send like 4, maybe in the morning, and 4 in the afternoon. So most of the students just had 1 or 2 boxes, and they started going on it. Now, let me tell you what we gave them. We gave them Gary mix, 1 pack. In fact, the Gary mix, I'm told, is very good. I mean, you know. And then we gave them Tom Brown, 1 sachet each. The canned Cheeto, we gave them 1 each. The sardine or the canned fish, each person got a minimum of 3. This way, chocolate drink, and one is to share. We gave them Gary and one cold water, and then this way, and one is to share. You can imagine a combination. That one too, most of them got, 10 sachets or more. Most of them got about the minimum of 3 or 4 gan kenke, minimum of 2 pieces of panty kenke, 2 sachets each of plantain chips. We gave them nose mask in addition to what we had given them earlier already. We gave them nose mask. We also gave them some fufu, powdered fufu, and then powdered pancake. Now, this is what we gave the students in Wuhan. The emphasis was Wuhan because that was where the evacuation would have taken place. Now, after we had given them this is in addition of $500 each we gave them, which is in yuan 3,490. We took care of the bank charges, so they had exactly 3,490 yuan. And as I talked to you, about 349 students had been paid, or Ghanaians had been paid. We paid them through bank account because of transparency, and only a few paid through the WeChat. So after we had done this for the Ghanaians in Wuhan or Hubei province, our focus was for Ghanaians in China. And we worked through NUCs and then the Ghanaian community. And as I speak to you, we've given out over 4,200 pieces, bags of rice, and then bottles of oil. So each person had one bag of rice and then 1 bottle of oil to all those Ghanaians in the recognizable community. You can imagine the cost of postage, but then it was an emergency, and we really had to do that. Like Ambassador said, the items I listed earlier were sent by the Honorable Minister, and we need to thank her so much for her the motherly role she has played in making sure that the mission's requests and everything were approved very expeditiously, and it's because of that we can share with you some of these success stories. And of course, my boss, the ambassador, we need to thank him for his leadership role here. So these are some of the things we did. Now, okay. Let me quickly touch on the perhaps what we can learn in Ghana about some of these distributions. Now, we have we are told that the watches sellers can still work, and some of those other people could work, and the hotels could also deliver items. So we would encourage the courier services to be up and doing. They should be very efficient and timely, so that they can play their role very effectively this lockdown period to supply food items to people timeously, you know. So I think that the Chinese example, we can replicate some of them there. We cannot take them wholesale, but we can replicate some of this in Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abu Osman. That was quite a powerful one. Now, Your Excellency, I know we've kept you for a while, but the conversation is getting interesting and interesting. Let's come back to you again. Sino-Ghana diplomatic relations will shock 60-year milestone in July this year. There's a whole lot of background I could go into, but looking at the relationship between these two countries and the cordialness we've been dealing with, this win-win situation, friendship kind of thing between Ghana and China, would you say China is currently Ghana's, well, as we know, China is currently Ghana's largest trading partner and the 7th in Africa? How is your embassy managing this relationship despite the challenges of this COVID-19, and what is your advice to Ghanaian businesses who trade with China and who may have been affected one way or the other by COVID-19 at the moment?
All right, thank you very much. I think in terms of the relationship, work goes on. I mean, one of the things that I would like to do is to thank Abu for his hard work. And I think the challenge with the lockdown is to make sure that you keep dialogue and food going. I mean, it's important, as Dr. Ama said. I mean, the communication process and also the food supply chain. And I think that's where, for me, Abu did very well in terms of making sure, because in fact, at the time of the lockdown, we were sort of short-staffed. And the work that the team, Sheila, Abu, Alfred, I would like to really thank them in terms of keeping the supply chain going. It's something that we can learn. I think maybe at a later date, you can have a full chat on the supply chain process, because when the supply chain is broken, we would have a problem.
True.
Now, going to your question, we have a new way of working. You know, we have been working electronically throughout this process with the students as and the Ghanaian community, as we've discussed. So we're still having our meetings. Just this past week, we've had meetings with Star Times, looking at how they can help us with our online learning. We had a meeting with the Minister of Communications and the Star Times executives with me in my office. In times past, maybe this would have required a trip. So we're all learning to innovate. So the relationship, it's our responsibility as a mission to make sure that we deepen it. I mean, we had planned to have some events. It's possible that if this pandemic goes beyond the summer or into the summer, we may have to postpone and do some of these things later in the year, or maybe even next year. I mean, the Olympics has been postponed to 2020, yeah. So it doesn't matter if we postpone these things. I think the most important thing now is to make sure that we save souls and people are alive and we are all alive. But we are working. I mean, we've had meetings this week. I've had meetings with, in addition to Star Times, we've had our meetings with CDB. CDB are helping to finance the construction of the fish landing sites and a few other projects. We've had meetings with them, conference calls. We've had meetings with Exim Bank. We've had meetings with Sanohydro. We've had meetings with CMBM. And we've also spent a lot of time trying to get some donations to help the situation back home. And I would like to use this platform to thank some of the student companies that have also reached out to help us. We've received some masks from Norinco, about 10,000 that we've already sent to Ghana. Today, we got a pledge of another 20,000 from CMBM, who are also going to help us with the 1D1F. They've also pledged 20,000. TMI, I think TMI own Ghana Manganese. They have pledged to give us 10 ventilators for our hospitals to help us out. And then these are pledges.
Okay.
But I'm sure that by the end of next week, we'll get all of them. Myself, donating 20,000. Together with my honorary consul, we are donating 70,000 masks, which will leave for Ghana tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
StarTimes are also going to give us, hopefully StarTimes will be able to work with the Ministry of Communication to help our kids with the online education, because, you know, the children are at home, but they have to study. I mean, life shouldn't stop. So I think the world is going through a new phase and things are going to change, and we all have to be open to new changes. So in terms of our relationship, it's going to get better. I think in terms of the traders and the people who are not able to travel to China, the mission is available to assist. We have ourselves in Beijing, and we also have the consulate in Guangzhou. Already, we are doing that. I mean, just this past week, I have received 2 requests from people who want to buy medical supplies, and we've forwarded it to our consulate in Guangzhou to assist them. So as long as we are approached, we do what is humanly possible. But as we can all attest, right now, everybody's focus is on getting enough medical supplies to Ghana so that at least we can solve our problem before it becomes an issue for us. So
wonderful. Go ahead. Yes, I was just going to say that in winning pledges to support, we will need more of the test kits as well. I didn't really hear a lot of the test kits in the pledges.
Well, we need to get direction from Accra on the test kits, because yesterday we were talking about it, but my understanding with some of these test kits is that it has to be flown at a particular temperature, which means that we have to get chartered aircraft, but we have not gone into that area because that's more specialized. But once we know how to deal with it, definitely we'll get some of the test kits. But there's one, you know, there are different approaches to solving this problem.
Okay.
In China, they didn't do a lot of mass testing as they are doing in the United States. Mm-hmm. It was about containment and staying at home. You only got tested when your temperature was above 37.3, heading to 38. Then you went to hospital. But it was basically stay home and make sure that you're okay. And personally, I think that's the approach we should use in Ghana. We can't go the US way of mass testing because it's expensive. You know, it's expensive. And I also don't think that is the right way to go, because the fact that you test negative today doesn't mean that in 2 days' time, if you are reckless, you won't be positive.
True.
You know,
True.
So it's different. I mean, South Korea did mass testing, but that was in the epicenter, the place where the coronavirus took hit in Dangun or that place. So I don't think they did a whole testing of
the entire country.
The entire country. So I'm not looking at, I mean, I've heard this cause of testing, but I think what the president is doing is the right thing. Like the people who were quarantined, who came from Europe, that was a risk group. So those people, you quarantine them and you test them, you know, and then after 14 days, you leave them, and those who are positive, like we found, you isolate them. I think that is the right approach, but not that anybody can walk into any medicals and say, I want to get tested. I personally, based on the experience and what I've seen around the world, I don't think mass testing is the way to go. But we do.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Let me just remind viewers that we are streaming the show live on all social media handles, especially on Net2 TV,
Frozen.
on YouTube, Facebook, and even on Instagram. You'll be watching our lives on Net2 TV and also on ETV and also on Ash FM. We're holding this conversation about COVID-19 with our partners in China, also looking at how they're able to deal with it. We also have people like His Excellency Ghana's ambassador to China at the moment. Your Excellency, let me ask you this. Is it true that you followed the steps of the president to donate your 3 months salary to support Ghana's situation?
I said yes. I'll confirm I'm donating my 2 months salary, March and April, to help with the COVID, in addition to the mask that we're bringing.
God richly bless you. Your Excellency, before we make way for other programs, your final words on all this.
I think we should follow the lead of the president. COVID is about leadership and about management of our personal lifestyles. And I think there is a lot of information out there. As Dr. Ama said earlier, we should also not focus on false information. I think people are absorbing too much negativity, which creates unnecessary panic. Can I go on?
Yes, please, Your Excellency, go ahead.
Okay. It's important that we stick to the rules, because if we fail to contain this virus within a timely manner, I remember when when it first broke out and I met the students and they asked me, I said, I'm giving myself up to within 20 days, we should reach a certain tipping point and then we start coming down. And I think the Chinese did well, because the statistics and the timelines they gave us, pretty much they were able to meet it, because they said mid-April and they were able to stop it by mid of March. We should have those timelines. And I think to be able to achieve those timelines, it depends on the citizenry. So we should all adhere to the protocols, because as Abu said, you have to break the chain. If you don't break the chain, it will keep moving. And the only way you stop this virus is by breaking the chain. And in countries that have been able to do it, they broke the chain. And that is what should be the singular objective of every Ghanaian, that I'm going to be a force or a factor in breaking this chain. That's what I can say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. That was His Excellency Edward Boateng, Ghana's ambassador to China and leader of the government of Ghana's COVID-19 effort in China. You can hear the success story. I mean, the work they've done together as a team. I will say, thank you very much to each and every member in the embassy playing that very important. You can take care. You can do. There will be
one thing. I think earlier. So my welfare depends on your action. Your action determines my well-being, and my action also determines your well-being. We are a collective, and we are all in this together. That is how we can break the chain. Thank you. I wanted to repeat it.
Your Excellency, it's very catchy, and I would please appeal that you repeat it once again.
Said, my welfare depends on your action. Your action determines my well-being, and my action determines your well-being also. We are a collective, and that's how we shall break the chain to contain this virus.
Wow, that was very powerful. Samuel, if you're around, you can take over. I think we'll be ending the show right about now, but you're watching us live on ETV Ghana. Also, you can listen to us on Happy FM and on Man FM, as well as Net2 TV right now and Ash FM in Kumasi. But we are streaming live on Net2 TV GH on YouTube and on Facebook also, and all social media handles. If Samuel, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here with you, my brother.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yo, minia abedi medawasi. for holding the fort and asking the relevant questions. Your panelists and paying one more discussion. His Excellency Ambassador Edward Boateng. Sir, we are grateful. Dr. Amma Edwin, we are grateful for making the time. Mr. Abu Osman, we are grateful that you also made the time. Dr. Percy Akwete, we are grateful. Mr. Samson Opoku, and then Miss Gloria Akpabla, we are grateful for making time to join us this morning for this very informative and insightful discussion we had on Netu TV, Oman FM, Happy 98.9 FM, and on ETV Ghana as well. We're very grateful and we wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
Good day to you
Thank
too
you
as
for
well.
having us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hanedi Jimedi no ebesie meda menua abedi enim enso so ase meda production team a war Happy FM ETV Ghana technical team Richard Enemu team George yebeda mo nyina mo so mase se modi 2 TV so na share nkomo twetwe ase every 8 ebedru samre